in today's class, we will look into the cryptographic computations in the SSL. Okay, so here we will be coming end to the SSL, that is the secure sockets layer. So just to summarize whatever we have done from the beginning, or we have seen from the beginning for SSL. Initially we looked into SSL protocol stack. There we saw that SSL protocol stack consists of various protocols, TCP, IP, and after that we looked into the four main protocols, that is the SSL record protocol, SSL chain cipherspec protocol, alert protocol, and finally we looked into handshake protocol. So under handshake protocol we had four different phases, and the four different phases were mainly meant for securing the security capabilities, ensuring that there is security. Then the phase 2 was meant for server authentication and key exchange. Phase 3 was meant for client authentication and key exchange, and finally the handshake protocol was established, or the handshake was established, which means that the client and the server could communicate effectively once the handshake has been established. So now moving on to the cryptographic computations in the SSL. So basically in this case we have mainly two items of interest as to see how the creation of the shared master secret happens by means of the key exchange. Second one, the generation of the cryptographic parameters from the master secret. So first one, that is master secret creation. Here the shared master secret is one time 48 byte value, which is 384 bits, which is generated for the session by means of a secure key exchange. And the creation in itself has got two stages, that is you have the pre-master secret which is exchanged, and for this we can go for either an RSA or a Diffie-Hellman algorithm. The second stage is the master secret, which is calculated by both the parties. So let us see how this pre-master secret exchange can occur in the two cases, that is RSA and the Diffie-Hellman algorithm. So first one, the RSA key exchange. So here the 48 byte pre-master secret is generated by the client, encrypted with the server's public RSA key, and then sent to the server. The server will then decrypt the ciphertext using its private key to recover the pre-master secret. Whereas in the case of the Diffie-Hellman, both the client and the server, as you can see here, both the client and the server will generate a Diffie-Hellman public key, and after these keys are exchanged, each side will perform the Diffie-Hellman calculation to create the shared master secret, that is the shared pre-master secret. So both sides, that is the client and the server, will now compute the master secret. So for the computation purpose we make use of the code which is specified here, that is master underscore secret, which is equal to MD5 pre-master secret SHA pre-master secret client hello.random server hello.random MD5 pre-master set secret SHA pre-master master secret client hello random server hello random MD5 in a similar manner. So various codes which will make use of the hash algorithm MD5 and SHA will be concatenated in order to create the master secret. So let me repeat once more. in the case of an RSA, what we do is pre-master secret will be generated by the client, and the server will decrypt the ciphertext using its private key to recover the pre-master secret. Whereas in the Diffie-Hellman, both the client and the server will generate a Diffie-Hellman public key, and after these keys are exchanged, the Diffie-Hellman calculation will be done in order to create a shared pre-master secret. And the code for the generation has been shown here. So the next part that we looked into, that is the generation of cryptographic parameters from the master secret. So for this, the cipher specs usually will require a client write MAC secret, a server write MAC secret, a client write key, a server write key, a client write IV initialization value, and a server write IV initialization value, which is generated by the master secret in that order. Now these parameters are generated from the master secret by hashing the master secret into a sequence of secure bytes of sufficient length for all the needed parameters. Now the generation of the key material from the master secret will use the same format for the generation of the master secret from the pre-master secret, which is shown here. So if you look at the code for the master secret creation and for the generation of the cryptographic parameters, this almost looks the same. It's not just almost, it's exactly the same, except that the names have been specified to be different. There it is specified as the master secret, here it is specified as the key block. 1 minute. Key block. So in both the cases, the server hello.random and client hello.random are the two arbitrary values which will be exchanged in the initial hello messages. So the result of this particular structure, algorithm structure, will be a pseudo random function, and we can view this master secret as a pseudo random seed value to that particular function. Both the client and the server random numbers can be viewed as a salt values to complicate the crypt analysis, because we don't want the attacker to detect, right? So in order to complicate this, we create those random numbers for both the client and the server. So this is all regarding the cryptographic computations for the SSL.